And Cody's off with the ball. It never comes back if Cody got it. But that's kind of a good thing. Like, Kyle will bring it back, Cody will take it away. They can keep playing like this for hours. Kai, can you go get the ball? Another day, another adventure. So we're still at the campsite. We're going to head to the south coast. I don't know that it's technically still part of the national park of the New Forest, but it's part of the New Forest area. But I wanted to do something just a little bit different rather than wandering around moorland again today. So we're going to head out, leave the campsite behind, but we're going to be back here tonight. Time to let the dogs out and get a bit of exercise before we continue on. Come on, bud. Oh, don't fall out. He does that a lot. Oh, yeah, Kai. We'll go for a quick walk. Come on, Kai. We've got some little ponies here too. Kai, leave it. It's a young'un right here. I know you want to go get him, but we're at a crossroads. Literally. I didn't bring my phone out with me, so I'm not going to venture too much off of the trail to where we're on. But it's crazy to me though, like you go from this really dense woodland that has almost no light coming down to these beautiful wide open spaces of moorland, of gorse, of heather, things like that. And then back into the trees, and then some places you have this beautiful old oak deciduous woodlands. It's absolutely crazy. Really, really do love the New Forest though. Oh, hello. You startled me. We are being followed. You startled me as you walked out of the bushes though. Whitland. Dude, I don't have any food for you. I'm gonna walk backwards into a puddle here in a minute. Okay. Look, Kai, load up. Good girl. Cody, come on. Load up. Cody, come on. Oh. I'm still pretty determined to get down to the seafront today. We did just stop, I think it was at Titchfield, but the tide is all the way in, and that wind coming, it's an onshore wind, so, you know, safer windsurfing and all those kind of things that are dangerous in the wind. But because it's so windy and so blowy, the waves are coming over the seawall, and just the last thing I really want is seawater all over the car, you know, rust and stuff. Well, we may not be in the wildlife park yet, but we're getting our first little taste. I don't know if you can see that over right. Decorations. We've got a little robin just up here. He's come to say hi, and I think he's eyeballing us like, I know people mean food. As always, when it comes to these things, I get here way too early and end up spending an hour waiting in the parking area because they don't open until 10 or something like that, and I got up at a stupid hour this morning, especially with the clocks going back. Yeah, that robin was definitely kind of cool to see. But one thing I love about these places, and this is a wildlife park, and even zoos in the UK and generally in the States as well, they're more about protecting species, education, rather than putting animals on show. 30, 40 years ago, zoos were not the quality that they are now. Animals didn't have the space, they didn't have lifelike enclosures. So I always like to support places like this that are actually contributing to conservation, and helping with the breeding of species that are classed as rare or endangered, and that kind of thing. One thing I find very strange is coming to places like this as an adult when everybody else is coming here as either families or at least more than one person. But we're gonna go check out, oh, like that's the first thing I love. My favorite animal is the otter, and they're out. So let's go check this guy out. Oh, look at them. Oh, digging. Look how cute they are. Really am a big lover of these animals. They are the coolest animals. Look how cute this guy is. I don't think I've ever been this close to one. I know there's glass in between us, but they are having a blast in that mud. So those guys are giant river otters, and they've got the cutest sounds. Now that is the cutest little home for Marvis mice. Oh, I love it when they're out. Look at them. Oh, there's like several of them. They're all out and about. Oh, now they're hiding. Oh, there's a head. There's two heads. Alright, I think it's time to go look at the other animals because I will spend all day with the otters and playing with them. Venturing into the wilds of Wallaby Wood, and squirrels apparently as well. This is one of those rare breeds that they're partaking in the breeding program. They just started producing lambs this year, so they're called a mouflon herd, or I don't know if that's the name of the herd or if it's the name of the goat/sheep, but one of those breeding programs is happening on here, which is really awesome. You can see the little ones just wandering around. These breeding programs, yeah, so mouflon, which they're native to, looks like Southeast Europe. But these breeding programs are so important, otherwise we are going to lose some of these most important species. However, being in here, the one thing that seems to be completely missing are the wallabies. Not only are wallabies AWOL, but so are the wolves, which is not surprising because there's 5 of them in there, so they're not a stressed out pack. There's 3 girls and 2 boys, all siblings, came from Colchester Zoo, moved here as siblings, so they actually have the perfect pack in here, which is, again, that's something you really want to see with wolves or a pack animal. But this is a grey wolf, or a northwestern subspecies of the grey wolf, which sadly we won't get to see unless we stick around till feeding a little bit later. So some of the animals that we have already seen, the Eurasian otters, the pine martens, the lynx we didn't see, but also things like the European bison, which is not that different from the American bison, was hunted to extinction in Europe, and the only animals left were 54 that were left in captivity in Poland. And it was through careful breeding of these, and only 12 were viable, 2 studs and stud bulls and 10 cows. And through careful management, they were actually able to rescue this particular species and release them back into Polish wildlands, which is absolutely incredible. So we can just see the bison out there. They don't have a massive area, but there's only a few of them. In with the bison, we've also got these red deer, which are very similar to elk. As you look at their antlers, you look at their butts, you look at their color and their size, are very similar to an American elk. You gotta wonder how old that stag is. Those antlers are massive, and they've got, I want to count at least 8 or 10, 12 tines on them. So that makes him a good 12 years old, I'm guessing, but he might be even older than that. It's really difficult to tell from this distance. Alright, I think we're gonna head back to the original otters because it's almost feeding time. I think that'll be us done here. I don't want to overdo it here. It was really cool to see. You can tell it's almost feeding time. These guys are getting noisy.
Steer. Closure, we do have 10, believe it or not. Currently I've only got 2. I've got Mum and oldest boy called Darwin. I'm going to try and feed one up in this side, one wants to pop over. And the other should be in the house. Hopefully they're going to hear these guys eating in a second and want to come out and join them as well. Sorry, I like these guys not all come out for their food. There's any form of reptile, snails, frogs. Yeah, these guys like to, believe it or not. So we have Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad first started this group. Mum's a really easy spot.
Alright, on to new places. I think that was cool. Even though we didn't see them actually being fed, we got to see the giant river otters eating too, so it was kind of neat. I'm not sure how we're going to top that today. That was one of the coolest things. But what's interesting is how much food and water they go through just for the otters that they have here. They have, because they have so many species of otter, it's probably their biggest food bill. And of course they eat crustaceans, fish, beef, chicken, whatever's available. Not big waves, not big ocean, but we've come down to Chichester Harbour, which is a little further than I really wanted to come, but it was the best that we could find at this point. So we're just going to take a nice long tour around this nature reserve area. So obviously being a harbour, this is much better protected from the incoming winds, the waves, compared to where we were at earlier today. You can see how much smaller the waves are. We can still feel that strong wind coming off of the English Channel. We've also got this massive protection all the way along, otherwise this whole area would be underwater. Technically, being that it's high tide, there is no route along this peninsula at high tide. You can only do this one section at low tide, but a lot of people seem to be following this field along. So I'm just going to risk it, because I'm not walking all the way back that I just came. Hopefully we're not doing too much trespassing, but I can kind of see why it's impassable except at low tide. Although to be fair, a lot of it was actually walkable, even though it's still high tide. Yeah, that didn't last very long before we got to the point where we just couldn't scramble through anymore. So I came back up, and you can see where people have basically hit that before and come up at certain points. Whew, now I'm hot and sweaty. Guys, very interesting the fact that there's runny babbits out in the field.